What are the functions of commercial banks? Banking is the chief source of credit in the economy. The purpose of the bank is to attract deposits from the public who have surplus cash. Now let us know what commercial banks are. A bank is a financial institution that accepts deposits from the public and gives loans for the purpose of consumption and investment. According to the Banking Companies Act 1949, banking company is one which transactions the business of banking, which means accepting for the purpose of lending or investment, of deposits of money from the public, repayable on demand or otherwise, and withdrawal by check, draft, or otherwise. So, how do you differentiate a financial institution from a commercial bank? A financial institution is a bank that accepts deposits from the public and gives loans for the purpose of consumption and investment. Commercial bank. A commercial bank needs to accept demand deposits that have check facilities and have lending options. Now, after learning about what commercial banks are, let us know its functions. A commercial bank has three major functions that are primary functions, agency functions, and general utility functions. Let us discuss about the primary functions. The primary functions include accepting deposits and advancing loans. The primary function of a commercial bank is to accept deposit from the public. The bank has to accept deposit from every class and every source. To attract savings, the bank accepts deposits as demand deposits, saving deposits, and fixed deposits. The depositor can withdraw these deposits at any time using a check. No interest is paid on such deposits. Instead, the depositor must pay something to the bank for the services offered. These deposits are only maintained by businessmen and industrialists who have large transactions and payments happening every day. Next comes the saving deposit. These are deposits on which the banks pose certain restriction on withdrawal. Check facilities are also given to these depositors. The savings accounts are generally maintained by a household who have surplus money for a short period. Savings account have low interest rates, and bank also places a certain restriction on the depositor in withdrawing the deposit. Like they would allow the depositor to have a minimum lock-in period. Apart from this, the bank may allow its saving account holders the option of recurring or cumulative deposits. Under the recurring deposit, money is deposited in a monthly installment for a fixed period. The rate of interest on the savings deposit is nearly the same as the fixed deposit. It is a good and profitable form of saving. The recurring deposit are accepted by the banks at regular interval, whereas fixed deposit is accepted at a stipulated amount of time. Withdrawal can be made at any time using a simple check. The last type of deposit is the fixed deposit. In the case of fixed deposits, the money can be withdrawn only after a certain fixed period. Money deposited in the bank for a fixed period is called a fixed deposit. Fixed deposit carries a higher rate of interest. The longer the period, the higher will be the rate of interest. The next function under primary function is to advance loans. Commercial banks give loans and advances to business person, farmer, consumer, and employees against approved securities. When we say approved securities, it means gold, silver, bullion, government securities, readily saleable stock, shares, and marketable goods. When we say the bank can advance loans, there are a number of types of loans the bank can advance to the customers. Let us know the different type of loans given by banks. Cash credit is a type of loan in which borrower can withdraw up to a certain amount on given security. This comprises mainly stocks of goods and bills receivable from others, but in this, the interest is charged on the amount withdrawn. Under short-term loans, a fixed amount is sanctioned and the sanctioned amount is credited in the debtor's account. The bank charges interest on the whole amount from the day the loan has been sanctioned. The last function under advancing loan is the overdraft facility. Overdraft facility allows the customer to overdraw an agreed amount from their current account. For example, if a person has rupees 2 lakh in his current account, if the bank gets the check requesting to pay rupees 3 lakh, then the amount 1 lakh is going to be the overdraft. This facility is available for a short period of time. So, what is the difference between a loan and an overdraft? Let's take a look. Now, let us discuss the bills of exchange. In a bill of exchange, the debtor accepts the bill drawn upon him by the creditor and agrees to pay the amount mentioned on maturity. If the holder wants the money immediately, the bank provides him with the money by discounting the bill of exchange. The bank will deposit the amount in the current account of the bill holder after deducting the rate of interest for the period of the loan, which is not more than 90 days. When the bill of exchange matures the bank, it received payment from the banker of the debtor who accepted the bill. The agency functions are the commercial banks which they take on behalf of the customers. The first agency function of the bank is the collection and making payment for credit instruments. Bank collect or make payments on behalf of their customers purchase insurance premium, pension, dividend, interest. The next function is the purchase and sale of securities. Banks undertake to purchase and sale of various securities like the stock, share, bonds, debentures on behalf of their customers. The next function is acting as a trustee and executor. The bank holds the customer's will and executes them after their death. The last function is the transfer of funds. Banks help their customers in transferring funds from one place to another through check, drafts, etc. The commercial banks, other than the primary and agency functions, undertake the general utility functions. The first utility function is offering a locker facility. The bank provides locker to the customer for the safe custody of the valuable. Another function of a commercial bank is the use of checks. The commercial banks use two types of checks, that are bearer check and crossed check. So, what is the difference between both the checks? Apart from these two, the bank offers traveler's check to customers to avoid the hassle of carrying cash while traveling. The next function is issuing the letter. The banks issue letters of credit to their customers, certifying their credibility. Commercial banks facilitate the transportation of goods. Here is how the banks act as an agent between the businessmen and retailers. Banks underwrite the securities issued by the government, public, or private bodies. It is because of full faith in banks, people will not hesitate in buying the securities that have been undertaken by the bank. The commercial banks collect statistics related to trade, commerce, and industry. Apart from this, some banks also publish temporary bulletins containing this research. Commercial banks deal in foreign exchange business. Also, they may act as an exchange house for the exchange of currencies. Here is what you have learned.